Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, Kilos and Cosplay. My name is Sydney, and today we have another Twisted Wonderland haul. It's kind of a mismatch of like ones that I've either already unboxed, like they're kind of counterparts to any of the other people in the dorms, or so it's kind of just like a mismatch of different things. So we do have two. I don't want to butcher the names of any of the dormitories, so I will put them up on the screen as I go. But yeah, we got kind of two random ones that they're just the last ones with their pairs. Or then we have, I only have a single Nendoroid for the heart dorm, which is the Riddle's dorm. But then we also have the Riddle 1/8, I believe, Aniplex scale figure. I believe it's 1/8. 1/8 or 1/7. I believe it's 1/8 or 1/7. I can't remember. I think it's 1/8. Is that all they do? I can't remember. But it is by Aniplex. So Aniplex ones are always a little overpriced for what they are, and it's kind of a pain, but I did get mine on the Yummy Yummy pre-owned section for a pretty good deal, and it came with a bonus. So personally, I would say waiting for the scale figures is always a little, it's more worth it. But picking up the Nendoroids is something I definitely recommend doing as soon as you can. I know at this point, I don't know if there's still any pre-order slots open for the few that still aren't out yet, because I have just paid for 3 or 4 more of them. They get really, really, really expensive on the aftermarket because they are harder to get than a normal Nendoroid. So I do recommend trying to scour Nenden Games or Hobby Genki to try to get them if you can. But even then, they still kind of also are weird, and they hike up prices after release and stuff on those sites as well. So these are a little tougher to get. I never see really any of them go for less than $90 to $100, upwards to $200, depending on if they're the more original, some of the first ones that were released, especially the head wardens. I wish you luck, because I'm still struggling to get some of mine, because I just cannot justify $200 on a Nendoroid. But I've seen some okayly priced on the Yummy Yummy pre-owned section, but it was still way more than I was willing to pay, so we'll see. Alright, so before we get into it, just in case we don't know what Twisted Wonderland is, it is a game you can just play on your mobile device. And basically what happens is, I believe you get transported randomly into this basically college. I'm still not sure if it's a college or a high school. So I'm never too comfortable simping over any of the characters, because I don't know for sure, because I feel in the recent events they have said college. I'm hoping. I would much rather them all be in college. But in this, you do get transported into this magic school, and it's well, you can't even do magic. So you end up getting paired up with this cat magic creature who also really, really wants to go to school, and he thinks he's the best of the best. His name is Grimm. So you guys kind of get stuck into this haunted the dirty rundown dorm. That's where you go while everyone else is in their properly assigned dorms, and all the dorms have a theme of a Disney villain. So when we open up Riddle, he is the Queen of Hearts. Then we have ones from Aladdin, we have Lion King, Scar and stuff like that. So there are about 2 to 3 characters or 2 to 3 different ones in each dorm, especially if you go into the Octagonal dorm that I did an unboxing at before. If you do want to see that, they are based off of Ursula, and then there's the 2 leeches that are always hanging around Ursula. Those get personified into the twins. And I believe if we get into Scars, there's the 2 hyenas that also hang out with them too, that get turned into an anime boy as well. If you like that kind of stuff, or if you like Disney and you like anime, I do think it's a cool little mix up, and it's nice to actually kind of see the villain side of things, as opposed to always the heroes or the princesses ones get made. So I think they did a fantastic job personifying them or turning them into anime characters. they all look so good. They're all so pretty, and I think they did a really good job getting the personalities down as well. So basically you will play through like different storybooks and stuff like that, and you'll get different stories of each villain. I will say the only thing that I don't love about the game is it, like, I think just makes you a boy, so it's kind of harder to kind of have like your headcanon character in games. I like to put myself into these types of games, especially if they don't have like an MC or anything like that. I think the like actual manga does have like an MC, but as far as I know, this is an all-boys school that you get transformed into, so they never specifically say like him or anything like that, but I'm not convinced they would let a girl stay or a non-binary character stay. I don't know. That's why it's like, it's kind of weird, and it makes that part a little difficult, but the story is still good, and I mean, it's really not like a big deal to me. It could very well be a big deal to somebody else, but it does kind of put that little bit where it's like, I like to visualize myself in the game, and it's harder to do if I don't have like a choice or feel like I could be there, because again, it's an all-boys school, unless I'm making that up in my head, but I'm pretty confident they say it's an all-boys school. But I definitely recommend giving the game a shot. They always do fun little events, and you can get like little like nice cards. Those are really fun to pull. I really enjoy doing that. And like how you do it is like you pull from like the magic mirror, and so it's really cool. They have a lot of cool little details, and even like the teachers in the game are villains. Like you have the villain from like 101 Dalmatians, I can't remember their name, and stuff like that. So they're all different teachers, and like they're really well done and well designed, so it is very fun. And they are doing events quite often, and they have been doing some kind of like second parts to different events that they've done in the past recently. Like one is just about to end today, and it's like but overall it is really fun, and it is a game that it is free to play, but you can pay money, of course. I do feel like the system gives you a lot of chances to grind, and I feel like I've done pretty well just with grinding. I've not spent a penny on this game, and I plan to keep it that way. There's nothing that like I ever really like want that badly, and I've gotten pretty lucky with my polls. Like I feel like the systems are pretty good, so it is fun. And again, you can't beat a free-to-play game that you can at least kind of grind in. But alright, enough chit-chat about that. I hope I convinced somebody to play it. It is really fun. But let's go ahead and dive into the Nendoroids first. First, we will start with Jamil. So, this story I actually really loved. Big plot twist in the game, which I guess I should have seen coming. But like, I'm not that deep into like Disney, and I haven't watched a lot of the movies in a while. But I do really like the twist that they added, and like the storyline of not only just having Azel be kind of like, you know, because he is the main character. I feel like they really gave Jamil a chance to shine as well, and they're probably some of my favorites. I love their like designs and their outfits like probably the most. So I was very excited to finally get Jamil. I think he just released a couple months ago, but it's super cute. So here you just got all his little standard ones. They always come with like their little wand, his little like smug plotting face. I don't feel like they give a lot to these Nendoroids, but they do enough. Then we got him holding, what is that, a music box? I like, yeah, he's got some cute little faces. I think his little tongue is out in one. But yeah, I mean, they had to do like a backside pose too. Like there's really, you don't get a ton with these, but I do like what they have done. And I do think they do a really good job focusing on the outfits, which might not matter to some people, but I mean, to be fair, they should add more when these are more expensive to get typically. I feel like I usually am paying like $70 to $80 for them at retail. Alright, and then here he is in his blister pack, as well as you can kind of see him. Obviously the glare is horrible. Alright, so here is Jamil. Oh, he looks so good. even like the texture to his braid and like all like the hair, like kind of like rings and gems he has on, looks so good. I always love like the paint job that they do on these. These are always so good, and they're always like pretty good and like easy to like move, but they're still pretty sturdy. So I do recommend these for sure. Like, I do think they are worth the cost. Maybe not like $200, but if you can get it close to retail or like a little above retail, I do think it is worth it. Like, just all the beautiful details to the outfits. Like, they really put the work into like highlight everything. So I am very pleased. The hood is so cute. I don't know if you can display him without the hood. I feel like you'd have to be able to, but maybe not. I'll have to see, but I don't know if I don't think you can. I don't know though, maybe. I'll have to look. I do think he is a hood only character, but it's fine because I would display him that way anyways. But overall, pretty well done. He's got his little bit of eyeshadow on, which I love, like the like red on him and Azelle. It looks so good. The gold details are gorgeous though. But I think they did a really good job getting his like facial expression down. So super cute. Alright, up next I finally have the last one that I needed for this dorm, which is the Scar themed one. This is actually, he was like the one that convinced me to play is this Leona character. I love his character. Like, he is beautiful. My favorite aesthetic design. His personality is what you would expect, but I still get like a little hurt by it, even though I know that's like it's supposed to play into the character, but I'm like, no. But no, he is beautiful. Oh my goodness, he's gorgeous. I did get this one on the pre-owned section of Ami Ami in AB condition. And then here's all his little pose. I think they gave him like more like details. He's got his staff. They play this like disc game in there. But yeah. And again, the backside. And then I do like they gave this like a little bit of these effects pieces. Oops, I forgot to show in the blister pack, but here's all the pieces. He does such a good job with the scar on the eye. His little tattoo, everything looks so good. The tattoo detailing even looks so nice. Alright, here is Leona. Oh my god. I feel like until I get the Nendoroids, I like don't appreciate the outfits nearly as much, but like when you get to see all the details, oh my god. I love him. And they did such a good job. Like, to me, a lot of the highlight of like these Nendoroids is the details to the outfits. Like, they made sure to represent. Even his little tail, everything looks so good. Oh, his eyes are beautiful. I love him. Like, it's such a beautiful green against his like skin tone. Love him. Look how well they did the hair too. They usually do a really good job with the hair as well. But god, it's beautiful and like so well detailed too. Oh, I love him. Oh my goodness. He is perfect. Oh, little ears. Now we can finally go with Jack and I think Ruggy. I love those two as well. I love the like different personalities in the storm. So good. Oh my god, he's beautiful. I need to get a scale figure, but I like am not completely in love with it, so I've kind of just been like procrastinating on that, and like I'll pick it up eventually, but I don't love it as much as I wanted to. Alright, up next we have Deuce. He is actually one of the first friends you make. It's kind of like a forced like bond at first, but you guys do genuinely get to be really good friends. He is introduced in the first story because the first story is Riddles, so it's a nice introduction. So you get to know him pretty well because obviously they'll be like throughout the story and they do help you a lot, or they're involved a lot too. Him and Ace. I'm still missing I need to get Ace because I do love those two a lot. So here he is, his beautiful blue hair. Again, got the wand, fun little outfit. Basically, you have the spade on his eyes. I love that detail for the different characters to have those. Smug little face. And then, of course, the little flamingo, and then here he is with Ace. So they end up becoming pretty close too, even though they like try to kind of outdo each other all the time. Super fun story, and I really do like his personality and like how much he's like almost like a mama's boy. It's cute. It's cute on him. And here is how it's all laid out in the blister pack. I also got him on Ami Ami pre-owned for AB condition. You can usually get like AB condition on there for a lot of these Nendoroids. I think there might still be some up, but again, it's always gonna be a little pricey. Alright, here is the cutie Deuce. He looks so good. Again, those details to the outfits are such a big selling point. And then on here you see like kind of the roses that they have to paint the white ones to red. It's just, he's so good. And just, I love the outfit so much. It just is so fitting. And again, the perfect little detail around the eyes. And I think he also has a really good hair sculpt as well. They're also good. I really have like no complaints beyond like the price and how kind of hard they are to get about these. Like, I feel like they do a really good job on them. They're all beautifully done, all painted really, really well. And they add just enough to like show their personalities. And now moving on to the big scale of the unboxings. We do have the random number on the back. We do have Riddle, Roseheart. Sorry, this is kind of glary, but it does come with like the bonus, I guess. Kind of like a big postcard is kind of what it reminds me of. All of them get that. Any of the scales, if you can get the pre-order bonus, it's usually this. Just shows the artwork of the figure. So I got him in B+B condition. I mean, everything looks fine. I heard though that there's certain like aspects of this figure that people didn't love, or like they painted like the inside of his jacket upside down or something. I think he might have been the first one that they released. I can't remember. But I really liked all the other ones I've gotten so far, but I do hear some. He's kind of a rough one, but not bad. So let me show the beautiful, it's very fitting to like the opening when you start the game like that. And then here's like the different dorms, or it just has like the dorm logo and then Riddle's name on it. Here's how he comes in his blister. You got him. I mean, I feel like they did a pretty good job narrowing it down as much as they could. Get a staff, and then all of the backdrop stuff in the back. It's like a extra compartment. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull everything out, put it together, and then we will talk about them. Okay, so before I actually assemble it, I figured we could just talk about Riddle himself. His face isn't my favorite, but I will say a lot of Aniplex ones, like the face usually isn't my favorite part of it. I mean, I think they might have printed the print upside down, because it looks like some go the right way, like certain pieces, so I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. And then also it's kind of like got this like random like oily pieces, so that's a little weird. But overall he does look really good. I will say my biggest issue with this is probably the shading on a lot of different things. Like, there's really not a bunch. It's pretty flat, especially for how much you're paying. Like, Aniplex really needs to step up their shading game, because I mean it is very like flat. I wouldn't say like prize figure flat or bad, but not the best. The details to the jacket look really good. You will see that in B-roll. I'll get some close-up of that, of like his little buttons and like the name of the dorm on there. I think he doesn't look awful, but yeah, his face isn't my favorite. But I mean, look at him slay these heels, so you guess you can forgive things in some ways. But overall he does look pretty good. Yeah, just a little flat. I wouldn't pay retail, but I did get a pretty good price. I wouldn't pay honestly more than like $130 for these, and I think that's about around what I paid. And a lot of times you can find them for under market value or under retail value, because they kind of drop in the aftermarket because of the quality. And then also his base is just this big one with the checkered print, which very fitting. Okay, so before I put his staff in, it looks really nice though. I will say this is probably like the best detailed part of the figure. Same on the end, but now I have to just try to shove it into his hand. Wish me luck. Okay, I get why people hated putting them together. It still doesn't even feel like things are very stable, especially the trees. So I don't love that. I kind of wish this like actually had more of like a slot for like the paint bucket and the paint brush, but it does just sit on the base. Like, it's not a big deal, but we really just personally don't like a lot of like loose pieces on the bases. I'd prefer them to just have like a nice spot they snap in. So for now, I'm gonna move that. The trees keep falling, and it's kind of weird. I will say it's like kind of a weird portion. Or I guess they're bushes. I don't know if they would be trees. The back part really wasn't terrible putting these in, except for this heart one. It really is fighting me. It's still not in well, so I'm not gonna fall. The staff wasn't too bad, but you do have to just like push it into his hands, and I don't even know if I have it right. But he's holding it, so that's all that matters. And the one thing I hate is like figures that you have to like aggressively pull and move to get onto the things, and I forgot this was a problem with his that I remember people talking about. So what you have to do is, I was like, okay, I thought his cave kind of just hung off. I was like, all right, whatever. No, there's actually slots in here, and I had to bend them back, and that knocked him out of this peg for this foot. So then I had to pull his leg to re-get him back up. Like, he's a pretty flexible figure, I will say, but again, it makes me so nervous, like I'm just gonna snap something. But I did have to like bend and move things and really push things into place to make it work. But he does look really good done. I will say, again, like everything's just very flat, especially the trees and like the details of this like background pieces. I do wish there was a bit more there to give. Overall, I love the coloring, like in the color scheme that they went for, especially with like the blue. Like, I just feel like it really pops, and I think they did an amazing job. They got his face, they got his expression in his face right. I will say I don't love his face detailing. It's okay. But I do really like his pose. I feel like it's a very Riddle. So I am overall happy with that. And again, the base is like simple, but like just has that right amount of stuff. Like, that's what I love, where it just all is cohesive together. And I do think they do an amazing job with making bases like that for all the twist characters that they make scales of. So I'm always very appreciative of that, but overall, pretty good. Again, I would recommend picking this up if you are a fan of the series or the game or whatever. Just not at retail. And I do see this pop up pretty often on like Macari or on AmiAmi pre-owned, so definitely check that out and see if you can snag a good deal. But again, for how much they're charging, there's things that should have been fixed. But alright guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope you liked this twisted review. Yeah, I mean, overall I do really like all the stuff, and I'm very glad to have merch of series like this. I hope things like that continue, and I hope this kind of pushes things in the right direction to keep getting merch of different games and things like that. Especially ones that I don't feel like cater to like the typical audience. So hoping to see more of that like happen, because this is Prime. Definitely I feel more geared towards girls, and we really just don't get a lot of figures or merch for our types of games. So hoping to see that happen more and more, and I'm hoping like maybe purchasing things or like showing interest. And the thing that's crazy though is the Nendoroids are sometimes really hard to get because they sell out real quick, and then like the sites will hike up the price and then add more and stuff like that. So it's not like they're always super easy to secure. So I feel like there's enough of a demand that like we should be getting more things. But I digress. Alright, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know in the comments who's your favorite Twist character. Alright, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.